There is a tribe whose drumbeat is heard and followed in every corner of the earth. For the most part, they are confined to the area known by many as the TMZ, the 30-mile zone. Yet they have global influence. You're impacted every day, as are your children and your grandchildren. The Hollywood Tribe. This tribe has their own gods that they worship. This tribe has their places of worship.
Mind control, expand, corruption.
This tribe has their own belief systems.
Well, I have a belief system, but I don't choose to have a religion.
Well, I believe in, I'm very open to all religious practices. I'm kind of spiritual without being in any kind of particular sect.
Guess I'm a Christian.
I believe in karma and just, you should, treat people the way you want to be treated.
I'm more along the lines of like super brain yoga and pranic healing and incense and being positive and not taking ownership of others' energies.
For years, the people living and working in Hollywood were abandoned by the church. But now, as Isaiah said, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. A few have dared to go into this mission field. This is their amazing story.
The challenges for a Christian are not the challenges that I expected. I thought there would be the usual suspects of drugs and money and women, and really the challenges are more about discouragement and despair and hitting your head against a brick wall year after year after year.
This town is a town that is either going to tell you that you're less than you are and that you don't matter, or that you're more than you are and that you matter a great deal, neither of which are true. People that are not grounded in an identity that comes to them from the creator of the universe will fall prey to that on either end of the spectrum.
It's very hard to balance being an actress, being a mom, being a part of a ministry, founding a ministry. It's very difficult. And I think my friends that live across the country do not understand why we are raising a family in Hollywood.
A big problem is the frustration of non-success, of coming here as every talented young person in the country who is really interested in making a career of things.
It's been a battle at times, to be honest. My parents are not from an artistic background in any way, and it's been very, very difficult at times.
It's hard to sometimes explain it to my parents because they see it as this whole world of it's Hollywood, it's dangerous, and many people see Hollywood as, this crazy city and it's dangerous.
In the mid-'80s when we first started out, it was really tough to find a Christian around here. Hollywood is not a particularly friendly, Christian-friendly atmosphere. Although they seem to be very friendly to if you want to worship a tree or a goddess of some sort or a lake nymph, that seems to work okay. But Christ seems to have a little bit of a problem sometimes.
When I came out here, it took me probably 8 years before I met my first industry Christian. And that was a very common experience for people in the industry. In the last 6 years, people are finding connection to the body out here before they even arrive.
We need to have Christians here in the industry who love this place, who want to be here. I love Hollywood, who see Hollywood as a place that is not beyond redemption.
So people just need to stop looking at Hollywood and say that it's Sodom and Gomorrah, because it simply scripturally is not. But you know what it is? It's Nineveh. And if you look at what happened in Nineveh, Jonah went there into this city known for its wickedness, and people's hearts started to change, and the entire city changed. It doesn't say a lot of the people changed. The entire city changed.
I'm Karen Cobell, and I am the founding director of the Hollywood Prayer Network.
and I'm excited to tell people about how God is moving in Hollywood today. We started the Hollywood Prayer Network 5 years ago and have seen incredible growth of God planting the desire in people's hearts around the country to pray for Hollywood as a mission field, as the world's most influential mission field. Right now, we know of over 5,000 committed Christians in the entertainment industry.
I came out here to Los Angeles specifically to be a worker in the industry and a missionary in this industry.
I have a very fun hyphenate here in Hollywood. You've heard of the Hollywood hyphenates. Well, I am a talent agent and a minister.
I had a mentor who, oddly enough, was a partner in my law firm, and he was praying for me. We would pray together, and one day I went up to him and I said, God's calling me to go to Hollywood, and I have to go. And he said, you're right, you do have to go. And he had gotten me the job at the firm, and I said, are you disappointed in me? And he said, I'd be disappointed if you don't go.
At the age of, I'd say, 12, I wanted to be an actress. And I pursued it and pursued it and pursued it. I formed a relationship with the Lord in 1991, and I still began to pursue just a little bit more. But the more I fell in love with Jesus, the more I decided I didn't want to be a star. I would rather be a light.
There's a woman that my wife and I have worked with professionally in Hollywood who is one of the people who really is here to do good, meaningful work to the extent that she's able to. And we met her on a job at the point at which she had just had a real personal tragedy. She wasn't able to talk to her Hollywood friends about it because there's this sense that you can't show any weakness in Hollywood. We had really gotten together to talk about a movie that we wanted to do together. And what happened was the whole meeting was spent with her just telling us her painful story, telling us how she couldn't tell this story to anybody else she knew. And the meeting ended with her apologizing, saying, you know, we never got to the work. And we genuinely said that was fine with us, that this was the best Hollywood meeting we'd ever had, and that was well worth the hour or two that we had spent, at which point she started crying, and the meeting ended with her arms around us. To me, that's a big part of why we're here. We're here in practical ways to bring the compassion that we've received from God, to give it to people who may not be receiving it.
The Hollywood Prayer Network asks for 3 ways to get involved. One is, if you know young people who are talented, who have a heart to come to this place, don't stop them. Encourage them to come. Pray for them. Churches should commission young artists. Artists are prophets, and we need prophets who love Jesus.
The history of the church for the last 2,000 years has been the church coming to support the arts. And I think this generation remains to be seen. Is the church going to support the arts?
The best way to impact Hollywood is to provide it what it needs. Good storytelling, professionally trained actors, professionally trained writers, people who are hardworking and dedicated and have integrity.
We need more Christians in the industry. We need producers and directors, cameramen, composers. We also need financiers. We need bankers and investors. We need to get out there and not necessarily make Christian films, but put Christians in Hollywood.
Also, the Prayer Network wants people to not talk against Hollywood, not hate it, not think it's evil, but say, I'm going to pray for God to make a difference there, for God to change hearts, for Him to come in and take over the land.
There's far too little support of the existing Christians in Hollywood by Christians outside of Hollywood, and the church has not traditionally been a big supporter. They say they are, but until we see churches that actually send missionaries into Hollywood, we're not really going to see that turn around.
The church in America and the world has wasted a lot of effort
in anger strategies, boycotting, and bashing. In fact, it occurred to me one day, we've shown more respect for cannibals than we have shown for the leaders of global media. What if we had used the same methods on a cannibal tribe as we've used with Hollywood? We show up at the tribe and we get picket signs and we march around the village. Stop eating people, stop eating people. We've used exactly the same strategy with the leaders of global media. We boycott them and protest them and bash them. And they sharpen their spears all the more because it's just not the way it's done. And the one gaping hole that's most visible in Hollywood is I've not met one person yet that isn't desperate for unconditional love and acceptance.
Prayer is key because of the impact that it will have on the people who are working in this business. Moments of grace that will be won for them by the prayer of the people of God.
I believe we need to engage the culture. And I think we engage the culture through prayer. We engage the culture through Christians who are willing to stand up for what they believe in an often hostile environment in Hollywood. And yet there are Christians in Hollywood, you'll find, who are professional, who are very good at what they do, and yet they believe in the power of prayer. And if we can raise up that generation of people, I think we can change the industry.
And the third way to help the Hollywood Prayer Network is for Christians who have financial resources and want to make an eternal difference in the world to support the ministry. We need finances. DC may be the seat of power, but we really see Hollywood as the seat of influence. Hollywood affects the entire world, whether for good or for bad. And so we recognize the power that investing in Hollywood has.
Let's not abandon Hollywood. Let's not abandon the world that, the place where you can affect popular culture for years to come. In fact, let's encourage it. In fact, let's put some prayers, let's put some money, let's put some resources where we all think it should be and try to change the next generation of folks.
What I love about this time in Hollywood is that everyone, ecumenically, Catholic to Protestant, have decided just to join arms and to do this together rather than everybody being involved in their own little world and reinventing the wheel.
We have seen God do an amazing thing in just the last 5 to 6 years approximately. God has been uniting industry Christians unlike ever before for such a time as now, we believe. And so the community has become so big and so unified. And if there's one thing I can say to the church body at large who is not familiar with what is happening in Hollywood, God is moving in Hollywood. He has a plan for Hollywood. And if we will be a part of His work, we can see it grow even more. I can't believe how much has happened in the last 20 years. The last 5 years has been an amazing exponential growth. And God is continuing to move. What we need now are Christians on the outside to help us, to support us, to recognize us as God's children serving Him in a place that's not too scary, but a place that reaches the world and can have an eternal impact.
Without prayer, you're absolutely lost.
Knowing that there are people supporting us in prayer makes a huge difference.
We need prayer partners.
Please pray for us because we need it.